Hello there, lovely people, and I'm so glad to be back here for yet another episode. Or why do I keep saying episode? Another video. And today we're going to be talking about a particularly interesting topic that it came. I always like to give the background of where these videos come from, and this particular one came from a session that I had with my mentor and my coach. And she's absolutely brilliant, really love her to bits, and she's been such a powerful part of my formation and my reflection and intentional being as a creative. And she's just journeyed with me for so long, and I just appreciate her so much. So this particular video was one thing that she just said, and it sat with me. So without further ado, for those who are new here, my name is Comfort, and really blessed to have you around. And those who are here again, and thank you for coming back. It's really good to have you back, and I hope the previous videos have been encouraging and have been enlightening to you. And please do continue to share, like, and subscribe. It's been a blessing seeing all the powerful stories that you guys have shared with me, messaged me, emailed me. It's been really lovely seeing all that. So let's get into this second video, or not second, let's get into this video anyway. Right, so I think, so just background information of what has happened. So I've been in a season where I'm trying to transition to something, and I've been doing a lot of applications here and there, and trying to work on some projects here, a couple of new projects, or trying to figure out the next step. So I put out quite a bit. And then all of a sudden, and the conversations that I've had to have, all of a sudden I've reached this almost like a dip where I'm thinking, oh, I've done everything on my part and I don't know what else to do. So it just feels like I'm sitting in the, I don't know what next, like I don't know what more I can do. So that's where it all started from. So what if the next thing you need to do is nothing? And it's just now I think about it, it's just a very interesting place to be, because, it's not because you've given up. It's not because you've become passive about what you're doing, but because you've already done everything that was yours to do, pretty much. So like I said, it was a conversation I was having with my mentor coach recently, and she just basically simply said, you are sitting in and sitting with the I don't know. And I was like, wow. And honestly, yeah, that it definitely, like, it hit me and sat with me, and all those things that it does. Partly because I recognized it, and partly because I hadn't recognized that was exactly where I was. Because obviously it's not the first time this has happened, but I think it was sometimes we forget to recognize when it's happening. And as she talked, she simply asked me a question, and the question was, what's the one area recently where you used your skills and done everything that you know how to do and felt excited about it? And the answer came very easily. Like the answer, I was like, yeah, I've enjoyed writing. I've been doing a bit of writing here and there. It's not my usual creative outlets, but I've really thoroughly enjoyed just doing some writing. And there were also a few other things that were in there. So things that I had done, like I said, in this transition phase, the writing was the key, but in the midst of all that, I had actually had the conversations that I was supposed to have. I'd shown up where I was supposed to. I sent the applications that I was supposed to. I had taken the next steps. I'd followed through with all the emails that I was supposed to. I'd done the work that I was supposed to be doing. In other words, I had pretty much done my part. And I think, as creatives, we sort of tend to just be uncomfortable with just sitting doing nothing, yeah? So later on, when she started to ask me those things, then I was like, oh, I've actually done quite a lot, And what I had been interpreting as uncertainty and not moving or not shifting anything suddenly became clear. It became like, you've done your part and now you need to let go and surrender and allow the other bits of the moving bits move forward. And it's funny, it's just almost relatable to the very last video that we did about, leaving well. I'll put the link in the video for you to watch. But underneath all that thinking and all that answering, all that planning, all that processing that I was doing for the things was the conviction that there wasn't another move for me to make, at least not in my own strength. And I think that was what was wrong with me in this whole, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what else to do. I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something, but I just don't know what more to do. Because I need to be having something. And I don't know if you're like me, but that's the thing with multi-passionate creatives, constantly feel like you need to have something, need to be in control of something. And this time it just felt like, oh, I'm actually not in control of anything. So the fact that the next move now belonged to someone else, or even more accurately, the next move was for God, because now you've done your bit. And that's where I actually found myself. In this very uncomfortable space between doing and knowing, and a place that I don't think I'd naturally enjoy, except now recognizing it and knowing it a bit better, I'm starting to appreciate more. But previously, it's not a place I was happy with being in. Like I said, it's me. It's not a place I'm happy with being in because I like movement. I like plans. I like progress. I like to be able to point something and say, that's what's happening next week. That's what's going on. And now I'm here seated waiting for the applications to be approved or someone to say yes or no. And, waiting doesn't give you much of that. It doesn't give you like, okay, this is the next thing that you're doing. Waiting is difficult, yo. Because there are no obvious metrics to it. There is no new strategies. There's no next action steps. You look at your to-do list as many times as you can, and everything's been struck off. There's no checklists. There's just no certainty. You're just there. You're just waiting. You're just waiting. And yet, the more I sat with it, this was after our discussion with my coach, the more I started to notice how Scripture talks about waiting, not as passivity, not as laziness, because it's not as giving up, but as trust. And this is like Isaiah 40 verse 31, where it says, but those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. And I know I've read that verse many times before, but recently is when I wondered whether waiting requires more strength than we realize. Because I have this statement that I always used to make, that how we wait is just important as how we feel about waiting is just important as how we feel the waiting. So often, doing things gives us that sense of control. But waiting exposes us to how little control we have. And I'll say that again. Doing often gives us a sense of control. Waiting, on the other hand, exposes how little control we actually have. And maybe that's why waiting feels so uncomfortable. Not because nothing is happening, but because we can no longer convince ourselves that we are making it happen. And it also brought to mind, I love this story all the time, and I keep going back to it to remind myself. The story of Martha and Mary in the Bible. For most of us, or most of my life actually, I've always understood that the story is in the lens of activity and stillness. Yeah, Martha was busy. Mary was sitting. But recently, I've actually wondered whether part of Mary's wisdom in the sitting was recognizing something deeper. Now work with me on this. Maybe she understood that there are moments when being present is the most faithful thing that you can do. Moments when more movement isn't necessarily more obedience. Because sometimes we keep searching for the next task, thinking this is us being faithful with our gifts. But we look for that next task not because there's one to do, but because sitting still in the waiting feels so vulnerable. For some of you interpret as laziness, but it's not. Doing gives us that something to hold on to. Waiting asks us to trust. I'll repeat it. Oops, sorry about that. Doing gives us something to hold on to. Waiting asks us to trust. Now, I'm going to expand that a bit more. We must begin to realize that every season has its own invitation. There's some seasons that ask us to begin. There's some seasons that ask us to build. There's some seasons that ask us to persevere. And some of us, some seasons ask us to stop striving long enough to recognize that what we've already done was required of us. That we've already played our part in what was required. So like I said, some seasons ask us to begin, some ask us to build, some ask us to persevere, some ask us to stop and recognize that we've already done our part. And the problem is that waiting rarely feels productive, obviously, because you're just there. It feels uncertain, it feels unfinished, it feels like sitting in a room called I don't know. And if you're anything like me, you'll spend a lot of time trying to find an exit from that room. It's like, yo, what's like this I don't know room, I don't know you, like I don't get you. So where's the next door? I need to get out of this room. Trying to find the next answer, trying to find the next activity to do, the next movement, trying to make something happen again. But maybe that room isn't empty. Maybe that's what you're meant to be slowly learning. And that's what I've been learning myself. Yeah, because that's where trust starts to grow. That's where surrender starts to deepen. And that's where we discover that our value isn't tied to constant motion. Scripture says, in Psalm 46, it says, "Be still and know that I am God." Not be still and figure everything out. Not be still and create a 5-year plan. Not be still and solve the next thing that is uncertain to you, the unclear area. It simply says, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am working now. Now is my part. For now, I think that's where I am. In my I don't know room. I'm not stuck. I'm not passive. I'm not giving up. I'm just sitting in the I don't know, waiting to see what God is going to do next, because I have done my part and I've been faithful in stewarding my part in this time. And now it's God to do his part, and trusting that, knowing he's God, I know it's going to be working out for our good. And so I'd like to know on your end, if you found yourself in a season where the hardest part or the hardest thing wasn't taking action. And funny enough, sometimes it happens because you have to be bedridden for it. Sometimes you're actually forced to just not take action in any way. But if you found yourself in that part where it's very hard for you and you can't do anything, but trust that you've already done enough. I want to encourage you and bless you for that. And I'd love to know in the comments, like, what was your experience? What was your story with all that? And yeah, like I said, it was going to be a brief video, but I hope it has blessed you. And I just want to encourage you that the I don't know seasons are really actually good. The being still and not doing anything. Learn to be present. Like I said, it's really important for you. How you feel about being uncomfortable in this still time is also important for you to recognize how you feel that time. And that probably is going to be a video of it. So how you feel up that time of waiting is just important as how you feel about waiting, because the feeling that you should be having in that waiting time is trust. But how you're feeling that time as you're waiting is by being present to those around you, your family, your children, and present to the Lord. Spend time worshiping Him, spend time to get to know Him, spend time doing things like, just enjoying, take a holiday, take a Sabbath probably. But yeah, that's my encouragement to you. So if this has been really great, give me a thumbs up there with a like. And again, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.